I have this thing growing out of my face. This mustache is for Movember. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. You like the videos where I review things or talk about my experience doing things like finding a job in Toronto, reviewing Crave TV. I'm gonna review the Wealthsimple Trade app, although it's not really a review because I have no investing experience and I have never used any other trading platform. What drew me to this was that it's free. And I think in the US you have something called Robinhood, which also lets you trade for free. When I stopped working because the office closed, I mean working from home really, I wasn't going out every day to Tim Hortons and getting coffee. I wasn't eating out for restaurants. I wasn't having to pay for gas. So all that money was adding up. I needed to put it somewhere and I thought this is a good time to start. I had been thinking about getting into stocks, but it was kind of like a scary thing to me because it's like, it's a gamble. You could lose everything. I didn't really understand how it works. I still don't really understand. So please don't take this as advice. So anyways, I thought, okay, I'm gonna move some money into this and I'm gonna open up a TFSA. So all the money that I generate in this account, since it's a tax-free savings account, I don't have to pay taxes on it. It's kind of self-explanatory in the name. A lot of this happened just because of luck. So you can see that over time, I'm up almost 17%, so $2,856. And looking at that, I wish I invested more back then, but I didn't want to take the gamble. If you remember back in March, in April, people were scared. They didn't know what the future was going to be like. We were all shut inside. So the stock market was really at its lowest prices it's been at in a long time. So I took advantage of that and I bought up a bunch of stocks when they were cheap. At the beginning, I was really focused on banks and REITs, real estate investment trusts, because they pay dividends. Both of them pay dividends, and the banks are kind of like growth stocks. If you just hold on to them for a long time, nothing's gonna happen to them really. They're not going to tank. We've got 5, almost 6 big banks here in Canada, and if anything were to happen, I know that the government would bail these huge things out because they employ so many people. They loan money to so many companies across Canada to like build things. So whatever, they're just so part of Canada that the government would never let these banks fail, which is why I have a lot of confidence, and they are what I invest in probably the most. Like if you look at the total value, BMO, Bank of Montreal, and Scotiabank, BNS, just with the two of those, that makes up what? 35% of all the investments I have in here. So the point of this video is to show you that somebody who doesn't know nothing, someone who doesn't know anything about stocks, you can just get started and it will grow over time. You will have periods where it goes down. And in fact, if you started investing right now, when prices are really high because there's so much optimism with the coronavirus vaccines, it might go down a little bit after this because maybe we're too optimistic right now, and then people are going to come back to reality and be like, well, we can't distribute this vaccine very easily, we don't really have enough for everyone, the US is hogging all the vaccines, things like that. People will get worried again. These stocks will also go down, so maybe open up an account and leave some money in there. That's what I've done. I've got $2,300 in there to trade when the market goes down again, and when that happens, I'm gonna buy some of this ETF, which is just tracking the S&P 500, so the top 500 companies on the stock exchange. And over time, it's always gonna grow. If you look at the 5-year view, I think that that is a pretty safe bet. It's also doing all the diversification for you, so in all different sectors. Some of my REITs that are my favorite, one of them I'll share with you is SmartCentres. The reason why I picked up on this one was because I can see it everywhere and I like to know about companies before I invest in them. And SmartCentres, I've read about it a lot. What they do is they own a lot of property where it's like big box shopping stores, you know, the places where there's a huge parking lot and there's like a Walmart there or a Costco or something like that. You might see a sign that has 2 penguins on it or a family of penguins. That's SmartCentres. And if you've got these huge retailers who are paying you rent every month, that's a pretty secure thing. Even during a pandemic, what are the stores that stay open? Walmart. People need to go get groceries. They need to go get their stuff from the pharmacy. They need to go shopping just for general things, TVs, Christmas gifts. So I'm pretty safe with that one, and it does have a pretty high yield. So it pays a dividend every month That's what is good about real estate investment trusts, is they pay out monthly. So you can see that SmartCentres on November 16th paid me $10.33. That's because I put some more money in there. If you look a month ago, it was only $8.79. I like the instant payout. There are some things that Wealthsimple Trade could do better. Their stock prices are delayed by 15 minutes. So if you're using the app, make sure you open up Yahoo Finance and you type in what the company code is, or I don't know what you call these letters. That's how dumb I am with this stuff. If you type in these letters into Yahoo Finance, you're gonna see what the live price is. And so when you're setting the price you wanna buy the stock for here, you'll wanna set it as the live price. You don't wanna pay too much or too little and then not even get the trade and it gets canceled at the end of the day. So that's one of the downsides, the delay in the pricing. The other downside is you don't really have an app that works on the desktop very well. It's a beta app right now. I haven't even really tried it. Everyone's on their phones now. What I would like is if they had a full-size app on the iPad that when you rotate the iPad horizontally, you can see all your stuff laid out nicely. For now, I'm sticking to the phone. This is my old phone because I'm filming on the new one. Got the new iPhone 12 Pro. So I hope this camera, the microphone, the video quality is good. So I didn't mention this at the beginning of the video, but I have this thing growing out of my face. This mustache is for Movember. I grew it since the start of November and I'm gonna have to shave it a couple days early, so I thought I'd make a little video about it right now where I'm gonna tell you what Movember is all about, because it's not just about silly mustaches, it's a ploy to get people to ask or to talk about it. What they want you to talk about is cancers that affect men that don't get talked about enough. They are testicular cancer and prostate cancer. Both things to get checked out by a doctor, very uncomfortable. It's not something that people want to ask for. Can you check this out? I think something's wrong. But if you have any symptoms, if you think something's wrong, force yourself to go to the doctor. No one likes to go to the doctor. There's a lot of people in my life right now that are suffering from cancer and it sucks. And they're not old either. They are young, I would say. And it really sucks. If you can catch something early, you have way better chances of beating it. So check yourself out. Something doesn't feel right, go to the doctor. The other thing that Movember raises money and awareness for is suicide in men, which men commit suicide at a higher rate than women do. 60 men per day on average kill themselves. So during this month, I'm also committing to running 60 kilometers. Right now, I've run 38 so far, so I have about a week to do some more. I've got like 4 more runs of 5.5 kilometers and then I'll reach my goal. I'm donating to them. I should mention that. I'm donating to the Movember Foundation and another one this year, Rainbow Railroad. And I'll talk about that in another video because you've probably heard enough. But since we were talking about money and investing, it's important to share and to take care of the others. And if you're lucky enough, I was lucky enough to invest at the right time. So I'm gonna take some of that money that I made and put it into the Movember Foundation. And I hope you do too. So I'm gonna add a little link here in the description. If you wanna sign up for Wealthsimple Trade, use my link. I mean, this is not a sponsored video at all because look it, I have like what, 250 subscribers? Use the link to sign up. If you invest $100, we'll each get $10, which is enough to buy some stocks. And maybe you can donate to Movember as well with your earnings from Wealthsimple Trade. That's it for today's video, guys. I will see you next time. Bye. Probably with no mustache too.